If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
What are you doing this Thursday night? Why not drop by Sullivan's Steakhouse on Light Street? A fabulous dining room, a sexy bar, jazz music, $5 martinis, and food specials. Seafood, steaks, and value. That's Sully's.
Welcome back. I am Luke Jones for WNST down here at Donnas Tavern. And let's hear it for the legendary Phil Jackman. Let's bring it up. Phil, the first thing I have to say, we're on opposite ends of the spectrum. Distinguished career, legendary sports writer here in Baltimore. What's your opinion on this whole competition? Sports grouper right here, no experience, watches the games, love Baltimore, loves sports. But I'm just trying to do this and potentially for a living down the road. What's your opinion on the competition? Give me your thoughts on that.
The three guys that talked to Bill did the right thing. They all conducted good interviews because they listened to what the guy said, and that led to good follow-up questions. And that is what Sportstalk radio is supposed to be. Unfortunately, too many guys on the air don't listen.
He's looking at me.
Too often, from Boston to Washington, I've listened to guys who beckon people to call the show and tell me what to talk about. And that's not what it's supposed to be. Now I realize, a guy named Jim Rome is a pretty good, he doesn't take calls he's out of LA.
Yeah.
And if you listen to enough callers, you can't blame them. Because some of the calls are terrible, but you can't go into a 3-hour show every day saying I'm not going to be taking calls. It's a tough business. I did it for quite a while, and when they told me they scared the hell out of me at WBAL, the station manager told me that less than 1% of the people listening call. So you're trying to make it interesting, and the only way to get people to call, I remember what I used to have to do is say something nasty about Cal Ripken, and all of a sudden the thing would light up. But that's the drawbacks to doing talk radio.
Absolutely, you have to cater to your listener. Let's talk to me a little bit about the writing aspect of this. Part of this competition is the blogging. Throughout your career, going back to the newspaper days, you really had to be someone to get that byline, whether it was in the Baltimore Sun, the Evening Sun, whatever paper, New York Times. But today, with the internet, you have a computer, you have an internet connection, you have a blog. So talk to me a little bit about how you feel about that as far as the responsibility of a writer who is serious about blogging, as far as how they should handle that.
Well, when I first got to Baltimore, it took about 6 or 7 years before they welcomed you. Otherwise you were an out-of-towner. And then as you got around and met more people, what you have to, I think you have to earn the byline or the blog. Just don't get on there with some half-ass idea and just start talking. And that's what too much of the internet is nowadays. I mean, Nesta swears by it. He thinks it's wonderful, and I read a lot of it, and it's junk. But they've got the time and the space, so do it.
So basically, you're against the shooting from the hip, the reaction right after the loss. This player stinks. This guy can't hit. This guy can't throw.
No, that's okay, but you've got to have some sort of background. Now, I don't call myself an expert on baseball, but I sat in front of 2,000 baseball games, and I did pick up a few things over that time. Maybe some of them weren't right, but I want people to have opinions, but when it's in a newspaper and a lot of people are reading it, we've got to be a little more responsible than some of the dreck that shows up on the internet.
Absolutely. We're here with Phil Jackman. I am Luke Jones, here at Donnas Tavern. Phil, how many interviews do you estimate you've conducted in your distinguished career?
Good ones? None. No, I was never an interviewer. See, what you try to do with an interview is not talk at the person and have him talk at you. You talk with him. And it's too tough. It's often too tough to get a when you walk in and you're trying to go on with Mickey. I'll tell you, I had a great time with Mickey Mantle about 10 years after he was retired, and he was working for a gambling outfit up in Atlantic City. And now we're both relaxed, and I didn't talk about baseball. I said, Mickey, tell me, how good a football player were you out of high school? And did Oklahoma really want you to be a running back for them? And he lit up, and it was a great time talking to a guy, and you got to know him. And one of the questions he gave to me was, you say you listened to all my games in 1956. He says, would you tell me about them? That's the year he won the Triple Crown. And he says a lot of it is very hazy.
Great story, inside information on Mickey Mantle right there. Phil Jackman, thank you very much. Let's hear it for Phil Jackman. I am Rich Jones. We're at Donnas Tavern here in Dundalk for WNST. Good job.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.